watching Good Morning San Diego.
Hey, yeah, surf is up. Actually, it's kind of small right now, but there's a great exhibit at the California Surf Museum in Oceanside. It honors one of the biggest legends of surfing in San Diego. You can pretty much say Don Hansen started it all. This is an exhibit that honors Hansen Surfboards and Don Hansen himself. We'll have a conversation with Don's son, Josh Hansen, coming up. Stay with us.
We're going to head over to the California Surf Museum, where they are excited to show off a new Hansen surfboard display.
Yeah, Tom Jordan is live at the museum with a look inside. Hey, Tom.
Hey, good morning, David, Alexis. It is exciting when you think about how long Hansen Surfboards has been in San Diego. 50 years. They're celebrating it this year. They had a huge event a few weeks ago celebrating 50 years of Hansen Surfboards in San Diego and in Encinitas. And in Oceanside, they're celebrating that legacy at the California Surf Museum. This is a new Hansen Surfboards exhibit, 50 years of surfing history. And take a look at this surfboard here. This is the old style, way back 50 years ago, what they used to look like. This is balsa wood. They say this board nowadays would retail about $50,000. That's quite a bit of money, but thankfully surfboards nowadays are really not that expensive. But this is a classic board. So the exhibit here of Don Hansen kind of goes through the timeline when he started in San Diego, 1961. And believe it or not, Don Hansen, who is a legend in the surfing industry, in the surfing world, he didn't start surfing until he was about 18 or 19. He grew up here in Aberdeen, South Dakota, and he said he saw a surf film from a couple of frat buddies. And he says, I got to get out to California and try this thing. It looks too much fun. He's an avid sportsman, did a lot of skiing, was involved in the horsing and ranch industry in Montana, but his real love, his real passion was surfing, and he really brought that here to San Diego, and thankfully he spent some time in Hawaii, about a year there, where he started surfing, shaping surfboards. This is Don Hansen surfing Sunset Beach, one of the biggest waves in the world here, a legendary surf spot. But if you come around this exhibit, it takes you throughout the entire basically lifespan, a synopsis, a summary of 50 years of Hansen Surfboards. You come around this side of it, it goes to 1967 when he moved from Cardiff to Encinitas proper into his current location here. All sorts of longboards that Don Hansen has shaped over the years. He got a branch into the ski industry as well because he's an avid skier. But really, he made such an impact in the surfing industry because he became so successful with Hansen Surfboards, bridging the gap between the kids, the grommets, the rebellious kids, and the parents who didn't understand surfing at that day and age. And really, Don Hansen was instrumental in bringing those two kind of camps together on this. Josh Hansen, the son of Don Hansen, he joins us now this morning. And what kind of an honor is this to have your legacy, basically, your father's legacy and now your legacy, honored here at the California Surf Museum?
It's definitely an honor. It's awesome to see it all come together, and quite frankly, a lot of the pictures and stories that you read on the wall are things that I hadn't even necessarily heard about. So
yeah, just cool. So much in the history, and he's one of the few guys that tried and succeeded. A lot of guys tried and failed in this now very competitive industry. But what do you think was the secret of your father's success in this very competitive business?
I think it was just him being an honest business guy and you know, bridging the gap that maybe parents and kids had about surfing. You know, I think in the beginning, you know, surfing was maybe about somebody who sat on the beach and maybe didn't have a lot of potential or motivation to do anything. And Don kind of took that and said, look, surfing is such a positive thing to do, and I came from South Dakota to try this, and man, it's changed my life. So he really preached that, and then just treating everyone the same. You know, if someone walked in the shop back in the day and they didn't know how to surf, and he took them and showed them the ropes, and was just, you know,
he's a guy that really understands the surf industry because he has a passion and a heart for it, but he's also a very savvy businessman. If you don't know this, Don Hansen was also a part of the partnership that started OP, Ocean Pacific. So he was a very business savvy, but also had a heart for the surfing community. And now the surfing industry has changed so much over there. You mentioned earlier that when Don Hansen first moved here, you can drive by Swami's on a good day, there'll be nobody out. Nowadays, there might be 100 guys trying to surf that peak in Encinitas. So the surfing industry has changed. A lot more guys and gals out there surfing, but that's actually pretty good for business too. It
is. The surfing industry is worldwide, and it's definitely a big business. But you know, our business is all about family, and quite frankly, the industry is still a niche and very tight and close, and we have great relationships with all the brands and all the surf shops locally, and so it's a fun place to work. Absolutely.
Can you touch on this real quick, because a very remarkable thing happened last week. The state of Hawaii is now making surfing, the sport of surfing, a state-sanctioned sport, much like football or tennis or basketball or baseball. Wouldn't that be cool, do you think, if California brought that in as a kind of a high school sanctioned sport where they actually have surfing on a competitive level?
Yeah, I think it would be just another step in the right direction for surfing. You know, a little bit more exposure and yeah, it would definitely be a good thing.
Yeah, all right. Josh Hansen, what a privilege, and I know it's an honor for you to have this exhibit here. You can come down and see this amazing exhibit. It spans the whole career of Don Hansen here in California in his successful business, still open here in Encinitas. It's right across the street from Swami's, really, Hansen Surfboards. You can come out and check the exhibit here at the California Surf Museum. It's on Pier Drive here in Oceanside, and it's a phenomenal visit. In addition to the Hansen exhibit, they got all sorts of surfing legend and memorabilia stuff here. In fact, Bethany Hamilton's board, where she was attacked by a shark, that's here as well, the actual surfboard. So a lot of stuff, and it's an honor to have it in Oceanside, an honor to have Hansen Surfboards honored in this way as well. David, Alexis, pretty cool exhibit. We'll send it back to you.
So much history there, yeah. All right.
Thanks for sharing, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Oh, yeah, you bet.
All right, well, have you heard about this? High school kids in Hawaii will soon get to surf as the official sport at their high school.
Yeah, you like get a letter on your jacket for it. Tom Jordan is hanging out at the California Surf Museum to talk about that and a bunch of other stuff there. Good morning, Tom.
Yeah. Hey, good morning, David, Alexis. It's pretty amazing. You would think that this already happened in the state of Hawaii, because doesn't everybody surf in the state of Hawaii? You would think so, but now it is considered a state-sanctioned high school sport, much like football would be in basketball and baseball. Surfing now a sanctioned sport in the state of Hawaii for high schools. Could that same thing happen in California? That's yet to be known, of course, but I can tell you this, that surf PE is big in San Diego. I took surf PE back at Torrey Pines High School way back in the day. I know it's still happening nowadays. We're going to talk a little bit about that, but primarily a related surfing story. It's a new surfing exhibit here at the California Surf Museum in Oceanside. It's the Hansen exhibit. It goes through the timeline of Don Hansen's career here in San Diego, in Encinitas. Started off in Cardiff back in 1961. This year they're celebrating 50 years of Hansen Surfboards. Pretty much the guy that really started it all. Back then, there were very few surfers out in the water. Today, a lot has changed, and one of the reasons that has changed so much is because of Don Hansen and the success that he has in promoting surfing in the San Diego area. Josh Hansen, also with Hansen Surfboard, joins us now, and your father's legacy and also just Hansen Surfboard's legacy is really being honored here at the California Surf Museum in Oceanside. Talk about that. How does that feel?
It's a good experience. It's something that I thought, as the youngest son of Don, that should be told the story. He's got 50 years of history, and it's a really cool story. You should definitely come up and check it out, because once you start to read all the different stories and how much history there is, you start to realize how Hansen was such a part of the surfing community in Southern California.
An amazing guy, and you even said that going through this exhibit here at the California Surf Museum that you've learned more about what he has done in his remarkable 50-year career, and you're one of his sons, and you didn't even know some of the things that happened here. But talk about this, the familial connection. The reason why Hansen Surfboards has really succeeded so long is because it is a family-run business. It still is today, and still really in the heart of the surfing community.
It is absolutely as family-oriented as you can get. I mean, I have a brother and a sister who both work in the business. My dad is still very much involved. My mom is very much involved. And then we have, you know, a number of key employees that also have been with the company for, in some cases, over 30 years. Yeah. So it's very family knit. You're going to see the same people when you come through the shop year in and year out, and it creates a really great working environment and a cool vibe for the customers to see those same faces each and every year.
Very cool vibe. Josh, thanks so much. And of course, this Hansen exhibit is open until February. It's here at the California Surf Museum. And I want to bring in Julie Cox, the operations manager here. What was your deciding factor in bringing in Hansens here to show off the remarkable career?
The deciding factor was just 50 years and the fact that there's such a great shop in San Diego, so much history. I'm learning a ton, of course, every day, more and more about Don and the Hansen group. It's great.
As the operations manager, you've done a remarkable job in capturing the real history of surfing in California, but you also touch on the influence that Hawaii has had and also the related businesses, skateboards, of course, kind of related to surfing. How tough has it been to really get all these little nooks and crannies of this niche industry all together in one little museum here in Oceanside?
Well, it's definitely a team effort, and I have a great board of directors and a group of volunteers that help put these exhibits together, and we change the exhibits once a year. So we kind of focus on something small, like this is 1965 to 75 skateboarding, and then 66 to 1972 transitional years of the longboard to shortboard over on the other side. So we break it down into smaller chunks, which is great.
Which makes it a little bit easier. You've got a really cool event coming up this month, don't you? Talk about
we have the California Surf Festival, and it's a big fundraiser for the museum. We're in our 4th year, and it's going to start October 13th, go to the 16th, and there's something for everyone each night, different surf movies, little concerts. So the website's got the full festival information, californiasurffestival.com.
All right, and that helps keep the California Surf Museum open. This is a nonprofit. And if you ever wondered if surfing is safe, well, for the most part it is, but if you look right behind Julie, take a look at this. It was the board that Bethany Hamilton was riding when she was attacked by a shark on the island of Kauai. At Tunnels, a surf break on the north side of Kauai. That's the board. She lost her arm in that attack, but she bounced back and now is one of the most well-known surfers in all the world, and her story was featured in the movie Soul Surfer. But a remarkable woman, and that's the board. We're honored to have it here in San Diego. Julie Cox, thank you so much for bringing that in here and letting us see it. And Josh Hansen, thank you as well. Some old boards here from Hansen. You can see the whole legacy here at the California Surf Museum of Don Hansen, and a whole really bunch of cool things, all related to the surfing industry in California. We'll send it back to you, David Alexis.
Boy, just give us an example. Put your hand in that shark bite. How big is that shark bite?
You want to see how big this is?
Yeah.
And what we were remarking about earlier is, there's my hand. She lost only her arm in this. She was 13 years old at the time. She was sitting on top of this board. The tiger shark came from below and basically swallowed her arm and pushed her off the board, knocked the rest of that board out. But it's remarkable that she survived this attack. If it was just a few degrees to the right or the left, she would have been killed. But it's a remarkable story that she bounced back from. But yeah, a little frightening to look at. I might take a few more days to go back out in the water myself.
Yeah, I would wait on that. But she's a real inspiration, and you know, there's her friend that counseled her through everything is from San Diego, and played by Carrie Underwood in the movie Soul Surfer.
That's right. You got that right.
6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Thank you so much, Tom. See you later.